Namaste, beloveds. This is going to be the um, tarot portion of the Mother's Day reading. And just, I've already cleaned the cards, I've already pulled them. I was told to pull six. And so we're going to start off with the one from the Medicine Woman deck, and then the others are coming from the 2013 Oracle, as I was told to use that deck as well. So, the first card, getting right in, is the Apprentice of Stones. I hope you can see the light is kind of dark in here, but it is the Apprentice of Stones. And again, this is the Carol Bridges Medicine Woman deck. And we're going to open it up with Apprentice of Stones, Expansion of Knowledge. I'm going to read you what the stones represent in this deck, simply because it is Mother's Day, and since the stone people are the oldest spiritual, those that hold the oldest spiritual records besides water, the stone beings, I'm going to give you the reading of what Carol Bridges says to this. The suit of stones in other decks has been called pentacles or coins. So understand the currency. This would be the page, I believe, or the page or knight of stones, of pentacles, coins. But I'm going to speak to the suit as it is described in the Medicine Woman deck. The suit of stones in other decks has been called pentacles or coins. In the original Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook, it was called beads, but it has been renamed stones in order to bring your awareness back to the source of all goods and means of exchange, Earth herself. The substance Earth is the raw material for everything made on this planet, including its life forms, the plants, animals, and human beings. In 21st century technological societies, there is little awareness of the consciousness that dwells within anything made of Earth, other than the human form. However, the native people of the world have always been conscious indwelling, have always seen consciousness indwelling all things. It may be easy for you to recognize consciousness in animals, even plants. But what about dirt itself, stones, and human created goods? To get a sense of how consciousness might be in everything, try to think of it this way. Imagine the original native people living their harmonious lives close to nature. They lived, acquired wisdom through experiences, and died. Generation after generation was buried in the earth, where bodies were transformed into elemental earth forms once again, dust to dust, bones and flesh changed into smaller and smaller living organisms, microbiological and chemical life elements, the nutrients that create future bodies through the plants, soil, and stones. Though the, through Though the soul of the human being has left its material form and expanded into higher levels of life, it has left something of its wisdom in each element from which it had previously taken human form. Literally, the stones are our ancestors. The spirits of our ancestors may live elsewhere in higher vibratory bodies, possibly finished with earth incarnations, but They have left us their life wisdoms in the substance of earth itself, herself. Beloveds, this came up in the Mother's Day reading as what we are dealing with as far as conscious awareness in the Aquarian age and the old bones dancing and just the earth itself being the womb, the receptive materia of the matter that we consume, and that how we have through the generations and through the centuries in this fifth world acquired the wherewithal or arrived at the conscious aware, at the ability, we have arrived at the cycle and season where we can be refilled with conscious awareness. That is the Aquarian age. That consciousness that is able to be reassembled, resurrected, is the Christ consciousness. It is in the earth itself. That is what Jesus meant by drink this blood of my blood, eat this flesh of my flesh. This is what is meant. This is what is meant by be fruitful and multiply. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Know thyself. You are what you eat. How do we discover these wisdoms hidden within things? Again, this goes to the six senses, not just learning through the five senses, but being able to open up instinct and intuition and see beyond the five senses that we know are real and identify ourselves with, and to go beyond that into a deeper, more spiritual, higher frequency in rising and recalling and resurrecting ourselves, ascending into those higher frequencies, just like dog whistles that humans cannot hear. These are higher spiritual frequencies that once we gain a certain conscious awareness, once we gain a certain self-identity, once we are able to perceive and conceive of ourselves as a divine spiritual being, then we are able to receive nourishment of that being. So that is, we are able to receive unconditional love and devote that to what we love inside of us, what we know is there, what is higher than us. It is what it is, beloveds. Let me keep going. And like I said, this to many, it may seem like it has nothing to do with the first reading, but if you are spiritually aware, you're understanding the woven correlation that's happening right now with these cards, with this reading, with this ongoing. And I'm getting ready to hush and just give it. How do we discover these wisdoms hidden within things? Natural objects, such as plants and stones, can be related to in a way similar to how you would relate to human beings. Communication. After all, they once were somebody. Now their elements have entered. Wow. How many? I think I made like 2 or 3 videos talking about the fifth element before this. They kept saying fifth element, elements, Valerie. And I'm like, okay. Fifth elements. After all, they once were somebody. Now their elements have entered a new kingdom. Their aliveness and growth have begun following different laws. Their guides are nature spirits and devas, beings mostly unseen by human eyes. Fairies, elves, gnomes, and all the little people who inhabit Earth Mother's mystery are their friends. If you are among the fortunate few, you may be able to cross from your human spiritual world into theirs through the opening you create by your belief in their existence. But whether or not you see fairies, elves, and such, you still honor the life you do see, the plants, trees, and stones of Earth's body. Think of crystals and gems as the crystallization of the purest consciousness bequeathed to us by our ancestors. A couple of videos prior to this one, a crystal told me to introduce it to the video, and I kept holding it up, and I told how it had fallen off the plate and how it had gotten there. I didn't know, but this is all connected, beloveds. It's all bigger than us. You might think of crystals. Wait a minute. Think of crystals and gems as the crystallization of the purest consciousness bequeathed to us by our ancestors. You might think of crystal as Christ all. Christ all. Crystal as Christ all. That which holds the Christ consciousness. That which records. That which stores. That which does not forget itself. That which receives frequencies and transmits frequencies from the cosmos, from the earth. You might think of crystals as Christ all, a stone created by a Christed consciousness, a clear consciousness of total love, holding this view. These stones are very sacred, but who can tap this consciousness from the stone? Only those seeking that Christ light within themselves. Each gem and stone is an individual entity with a lesson of its own to teach. And each one is also a jewel in the conscious living body of Mother Earth herself. Mother Earth is a very luxurious being. Though she may appear quite simple on the surface, her treasures, like your own, are within. They take some digging and polishing to uncover. Aho, mama. She also has gifts of gold and silver to give you, precious metals, ores, oils, and woods. Most often we receive these gifts in our modern lives after they have been manufactured into products by others. It is easy for us to forget Earth's part in their creation, and it is particularly easy to forget the aliveness of these things. Native people once understood that for every process that put a natural object through, they must make up for its loss of aliveness or consciousness by replacing it with their own. The other video began by saying, matter takes up space with form, thoughts, and feelings that are created, manifested, born, seen, reflected back to space as itself. This is clairvoyance. All is connected, beloveds. All is connected. Most often we receive these gifts in our modern lives after they have been manufactured into products by others. It is easy for us to forget Earth's part in their creation, and it is particularly easy to forget the aliveness of these things. Native people once understood that for every process they put a natural object through, they must make up for its loss of aliveness or consciousness by replacing it with their own. Put simply, when they polished and shaped a stone, changing its former integrity, they added their loving desire to creating according to, wait a minute, sorry. Put simply, when they polished and shaped a stone, changing its former integrity, they added their love, their loving desire to create according to an inspired vision. In other words, they put their spirit into each object. Today, we think of artists and craftspeople doing this, but in natives' lives, every process was art. A builder talked to the trees and stones, requesting them to give up their forms to become a dwelling. With and in the previous video, we spoke of the temples, the body being a temple, the church, the mother church. The mother church came through. So when you are speaking of building a temple, Solomon was supposed to build a temple. All of this, like I said, there are so many jewels hidden within this, beloved. And I'm speaking and I'm giving it to you. And I hope you seek what is there and allow the revelations to happen. I don't have to sit here and spoon feed you. I'm giving it to you. You can discern from it. I get into teaching mode, and it's like my son tells me, Mama, I'm not a baby, I'm a grown man. Talk to me like I'm a man. So I'm just gonna read and shut up and quit mama-splaining everything, okay? Instead of man-splaining, I'm mama-splaining. Okay. Okay. Mother's Day. Today we think of artists and craftspeople doing this, putting their spirit in what they make. But in native lives, every process was art. A builder talked to the tree and stones, requesting them to give up their forms to become a dwelling. With their agreement, she would proceed, adding her love every step of the way. The finished product was then a living thing, a dwelling filled with life energy. You can intuitively sense this energy in any handcrafted item. What about present day mass produced items? These are, for the most part, dead. They have often been taken, no doubt without asking permission from the earth, as raw materials in a disgraceful and ungrateful way. Nothing has been given back to earth in return for her treasures. Her body laid bare, unloved, unrespected. You ought to know. What you put out comes back to you. You ought to know. The materials are handled by a series of unhappy, underpaid, uninspired workers, ignorant of their role in this crime. More humans who are also suffering from this disrespect and feel the lack it causes in their lives, try to make up for it by charging a lot of money to replace the worth that has been stolen. This comes up in so many things. When I come to things that are way overpriced, they're charging more to make up for the lack of life in it, to replace the worth that has been stolen. So you feel that you have to pay more money. If it's worth more money, then you're going to be getting something of higher value from it because you're spending more money on it. That is not always the case. Many empty things are sold. Many dead things cost a lot of money and work and time and things. Your house, you pay a mortgage. Your car, they and you pay more if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Not because these things are more fulfilling. No, just because that's the way it is. Has no real value other than your mental adulation and admiration of it because of its currency of coin, the exchange and essence and the appearance of worth and value that it gives outside. Has no spiritual reflection at all. You simply, needing a tool or wanting a tiny pleasure, purchase the goods. Then you become a part of this chain. You have traded your work, earned money, for a pretty and useful but dead thing. For you, it will ask for life. From you, it will ask for life. If you value it, love it, care for it, use it fully for its purpose, and thank the elements from which it is made, you will have given back the consciousness it was lacking. Ideally, you will then pass it on, an antique shining with the patina of having aged with care, or you will bury it once again to become the body of Earth Mother, restoring it to its original source. You may have and enjoy all of the gold and riches of the earth. You may acquire as many possessions as you wish. Your power and theirs comes only from loving them and using them with your own high consciousness. Key. Any object can empower you if you treat it as an entity with whom you have a relationship, an aspect of spirit. Any object can steal your life energy if you are unaware of its life process. If it was not taken from earth and created respectfully, you must understand that it will haunt you with its desperate need. And that's what we're seeing. I posted the climate crisis is taking over, and the polar bears were encroaching upon Russia, eating garbage and so forth because the waters are and the ice is no longer there for them. Their old ways of life and knowing is changing because of climate change, because of human beings not being one with Mother Earth. We have so much to unlearn, beloveds. So much simply needing a tool or wanting a tiny pleasure. Wow. So much to unlearn. Any object can steal your life energy if you are unaware of its life process. If it was not taken from earth and created respectfully, you must understand that it will haunt you with its desperate need. As I read that again, I saw the gold chains of the young rappers and the diamonds around their neck and in their grills, their cars, their women that are spiritually dead, their own selves that are spiritually dead, the walking dead, in gold chains, diamonds dripping. But spiritual value is absent. Spiritual knowledge is stolen by the very things that they give value to. That's what this is saying. That those things eat away the frequency or take up the frequency or magnetize your living energy because they are dead things. And they are taking your living energy, your spiritual energy into them, into their existence. And you are dying from it. Knowledge of good and evil. If it was not taken from earth and created respectfully, you must understand that it will haunt you with its desperate need. Blood diamonds. Clothes sewn by the hands of enslaved children who have not slept and eaten until they produce a certain quality and quantity of work, so that you can prance and say, look at me. Foods are gifts from Mother Earth too. It is perhaps easiest here to see that you end up healthier if you garden, cook, and eat simply and with love. If you eat highly processed, chemicalized foods from abused soils, your body must simply give up its life force to them. Youth has an abundance of life force, and the results of a sugar, soft drink, abused animal, pesticide, vegetable diet can go unnoticed for years. But balance will come either through human awareness and change, or the disintegration of the body causing death and transformation back into those simple living organisms that create nutrients for earth. What do we call them? Minerals. Minerals are your ancestors. Vitamins are your ancestors. Bacteria, your ancestors. Plagues, COVID. But balance will come either through human awareness and change, or disintegration of the body causing death and transformation back into those simple living organisms that create nutrients for earth. Dust to dust. You must see the circle of life. Observance, beloveds. Observance beyond the five senses. Whew! Understanding you are one with the elementals. There is no separation. What you do to one, you do to all. There is absolutely no taking without giving. I have elaborated on the suit of stones because we live in a very material, consuming society and do not see our part in the process. The current technological culture doesn't want to recognize death, decay, disintegration, and transformation. Every precaution is taken against seeing or talking about the end. Look up. Because the end is not seen to be also the beginning. Look up. Look up, look up, look up. But it is. All forms change into new forms. Age becoming youth, death becoming life, disease becoming health, goods becoming earth, earth becoming us. We are born of the earth. We incarnate. Spirit incarnates. Spirit is reborn. Spirit is held and recorded in each particle, in each atom, and it reforms, just like a butterfly, and it reemerges, born anew. But we get to a certain age in our evolutionary process where we have to remember, because we've gotten amnesia, we've gotten dementia, we have stopped listening to the mother, to the instinctual, and we've turned more to the logic. And the logic is all about death and recreating death, because it cannot give birth. It has a false womb. It can build houses, but it cannot build a temple. Oh. There can be no true hoarding of anything. I'm a hoarder. Former hoarder, still addicted to the process of hoarding stuff, but I'm getting better. Knowledge is power, recognition of why you do it and everything. And I've shared before in several videos, beloveds, and it's not so much of living in a house that you can't even get through and navigate. It's understanding that when it comes to the spiritual, emotional mind, so many things have been taken away from you or kept from you, that every little thing has an essence for you. It has a memory for you. And you feel that by holding on to these things, that's how you hold on to the memory of the essence that is stored in this dead stuff. And you're attached to that, and you don't know why. And no one can explain it to you fully. But it comes to knowing the difference between attaching yourself to a living spirit, to something that nourishes your spirit back, and detaching from what your mind is addicted to in the form of having and holding. The senses again, beloveds. It's a learning and a relearning, beloveds. And this is not above anyone. So no judgment, no shame, no reproach should be given, because the earth is what it is. And the elite are who they are because of hoarding. Okay? So, monkey see, monkey do. Where the elite hoard land, cars, material things, the poor hoard little pieces of scraps of paper and little stones and little leaves and little dried up flowers and little this and that, little scraps of cloth, little what are quilts. It's not about what you're hoarding. It's the fact that you need to do it. And the reason you do it is because you're looking to hold on to and attach yourself to spirit, living spirit, through something that holds memory for you. Okay. Every precaution is taken against seeing or talking about the end, because the end is not seen to also be the beginning, but it is. So we're being told once again, beloveds, that we're at the end of an age and the beginning of another. So take heart. Understand what is coming through to you during this Mother's Day. Every precaution is taken against seeing or talking about the end, because the end is not seen to also be the beginning. The mother knows that birth is not the beginning. Death is not the end. Birth, death, and rebirth is a process. You cannot have one without the other. You have to be present with the process. You have to be consciously aware of the process and that you are the process in motion. All forms change into new forms. Age becoming youth, death becoming life, disease becoming health, goods becoming earth, earth becoming us. There can be no true hoarding of anything. You can only have as long as you can care for. Loving care of anything, your body, your relationships, your house, your car, your toothbrush, your talent, is all that keeps it going. Leave anything alone without your consciousness maintaining it, and it will soon be gone, changed into something else. Hello. Hello. What do we need to do to war? We need to leave that mindset alone. That I gotta get at the cost of all. That I don't see another being as a living being. That I am superior to you. My life, my desire, my wants, my thoughts mean more than yours. If we do not feed that, it will go away. If we correct that every time it rears its head, we chop that head out. Nah, it cannot keep growing back. It will stop. To have, you must hold. Hold gently and kindly in your mind the image of loving respect for all beings and all things. Then they will live for you and give life to you as well. I hope. Now I'm going to read this card, beloveds. That was the description of what the stones are. And it was very necessary. This is the Apprentice of Stones. And again, that would be like the Page or the Knight of Coins. I have of Pentacles. Prayer. I have heard the creatures of earth calling. I have heard the sounds of the winds and felt the sun. I have listened to the whisper of trees and seen colors wink and light my way. I am attuned to earth and heed her call. Now I can tell others. I can show the way to be quiet and tune into what is being said across the planet as I walk, to the cries of the dying and the birthing joy of a new day to come. I am a herald of the dawn. I have prepared the earth for renewal. The Great Mother continues to guide my way. Lesson. A person of higher status will take you under their wing. You are being led to one who will be a teacher of greater values, of broader conceptions in regard to your relationship with the material world. Hidden powers of your materials may reveal themselves to you. You will begin to see how your work relates to the world as a whole and to the great cycle of life. Spend as much time as you can just attuning to the earth elements that make up your resources. Look deeply at the original idea underlying your work. See how the Spirit flows through you and through what you do in the world. Seek deeper sources of wisdom in regard to your craft. Life is an art, and your partner is this project. In this project is Earth. How can you make your business together something that produces resources for future generations? You are being asked to grow and expand, to see that as you work, the earth works through you. And that is that card, beloveds. I'm going to get me a little drink of water. Oh, thank you, Mama. And I'm going to begin 41. 5. I'm going to begin. I was told to use this deck, and I was told to pull five cards. I'm getting ready to share those 5 cards in the order that they came, beloveds. And this is going to be a lot of information. But remember, this information is seeded with spiritual fruits that will help you along your way. Okay. The first card that came through is 1, alligator, regeneration of worlds. Teachers of old were often asked, what will the next world be like? The old seers answered, when the next world comes, it will be like an alligator. Alligator lies buried in the water and mud near the bank, never stirring, so it seems. Yet, without warning, alligator will leap out of the water and seize you, screaming and struggling to no avail. Alligator will plunge you deep into the river and spirit you away. It will come like that. What will the next world be like? It will come like that. There's a story about alligator. Long ago in the world, before we humans peopled the earth, the stars and planets were not stable. This was because Bead Spitter God had a mouthful of beads, and he was monstrous looking and a fearsome god to be reckoned with. Bead Spitter God rolled a bead onto his tongue and spit it at a star or planet. And when the bead hit, it either exploded the star into fantastic light showers or caused it to streak across the heavens. This entertained Bead Spitter God to no end. This is how Bead Spitter God amused himself before we measured time, long before days and nights. At any rate, the sleeping alligator god, who was submerged deep in the void, became annoyed with the fiery conflagrations, continual disturbances. She asked politely for Bead Spitter to knock it off. Bead Spitter let a bead fly and it hit alligator in the nose with a stinging smack. Whoosh. Alligator charged across the great emptiness, while Bead Spitter headed for a distant world. Alligator soon overtook him and bit Speed Spitter on the leg, and Bead Spitter fell on Alligator. Locked in immortal combat, they rolled across the heavens, and Alligator emerged victorious, and Bead Spitter was exiled to distant heavenly boondocks and forbidden to destabilize the universe. All tied together, boy. Woo! That first video in this, woo! Alligator went back and submerged herself in the mud at the center of our galaxy. Over time, the mud that collected on her back became the first world. Earth floats in a pool of stars on Alligator's back. Alligator is in communication with the sun, who calls her to reawaken and bring a new world into being. She has birthed many worlds. You ought to know. Elders tell us that Alligator is awakening from her slumbers to seek the food of a new creation. She is sensitive to the waters of change and moves to bring about the regeneration of worlds. Alligator is the watcher. She glides between two worlds to the beat of her four-chambered heart. That's the 6. Slowly, her heart is the songboat of the dawning of a new time. Age of Aquarius. She is our guide. She prepares the way for us to meet the sudden changes which are upon us. Instinct and intuition from observing the truth. Alligator was the first mound builder. Temple. Her mounds, surrounded by water, form the continents of Earth. Humans live upon the mounds that Alligator shaped. In the night sky, Alligator is a group of watcher stars called the Little Dipper. The little gourd, the little chalice. She swims about in the world below while we are asleep. Consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness. Alligator is the ancient keeper of the inner spheres, the old one who holds the memories of lost ages. She can return to the past when time was different. On her journey, she passes through many spiritual realms. You ought to know. Alligator tells you to find the medicine waters of life. There are alligator mounds in Louisiana, near the shores of Grand Lake. These mounds were put there to remind us of the coming of alligator spirit and the emerging new earth and new humanity. The new world, Louisiana, the earth, alligators, the divine feminine, America, After alligator's awakening, waters of chaos will be calmed, smoothed, cleared, and evened. After birth, baby, after birth. Alligator is a predator and is guardian of doors, 1111. In her mouth are worlds, universes, different levels of reality and spirit. Different levels of reality and spirit existence exists, beloveds. According to the prophecy of the mound builders, alligator, snake, and other mounds will be activated by Venus. Venus and Taurus go hand in hand. May, the 5th month, Taurus, the bull, Venus, divine feminine. Meridians will be energized along the spine of the earth. The mounds will be used in ceremony, and it is through ceremony that the earth will completely awaken. Alligator's mouth will open, hastening the onset of humanity's healing. The prophets, seers, and diviners will return. What has been sealed shut, opened. The hidden will be found. What is whispered will be shouted. All prophecy of our creation will be revealed and completed. Mother's Day, May 8th, 2022, expanding beyond the 5 senses into the 6, 1111, is the conscious awareness of the Aquarian age. Aquarium, fishbowl. They say, make it plain. Space takes up space. It knows this. Without form, thoughts, or feelings. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. I am that I am. Alligator teaches us respect for elders. Them dry bones, baby, them dry bones. Alligator teaches us respect for elders. And this card suggests you spend some time with older men or women. Mine their experience, not with your mind. Can you dig? Can you dig it? Mine that gold, baby. Sit there and receive them jewels. Mind their experience and spiritual understanding. Not the bullshit, not the game, not the pimping. Spiritual understanding. Your connection to spirit. Spirit in everything. Know thyself. Honor thyself. Love thyself. Devote yourself to thyself. Love. Upraise. Rise up. Raise up. Grow up. See to the comfort of the elderly and provide for them. Elders may be in jeopardy or peril. Their health may be compromised. If this is true, alligators ask you to remedy the situation. Those amongst us who are elders, I am entering into that phase. They need support. Support came up in this. Understand what support is. Support is devotion. What you uphold upholds you. What did I say? What did Mama say? Space takes up space, baby. alligator asks you to remedy the situation. Ted Andrews offers the best information on animal spirits that I have come across in my lifetime. I suggest looking up alligator medicine, totem, spiritual animal medicine. Ted Andrews is a great place to start, but go where your spirit leads you. Wherever your instinct and intuition leads you, understand that there will be jewels, there will be something to nourish your spirit. Use this card to awaken from your dreams and fantasies and shrewdly pursue your cravings and desires. Be bold, be rash. The sentinel alligator sees deeply into the muddy waters, preventing our clarity. She sees the infinite dimensions of this universe. Baby. Woo! Matter takes up space from form, thoughts, and feelings that are created, manifested, born, seen, reflected back to space as itself. This is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, psychic, extrasensory, paranormal, precognition, prophetic, prophetical, second sight. I have a love affair with words. Look these words up and see the other words that are associated with or can be used in this place. That space plus matter then becomes expanding conscious awareness, replicating itself into galaxies and planets and solar and lunar systems of its own conscious awareness. Fully 100% perfected awareness, multiplying itself equal Elohim, equal oral traditions and wisdom of knowledge and ways passed down as stories, myths, legends, evidenced in the existence of existence, forming itself as conscious awareness over and over again. Spirit rests within all and nothing, seen and unseen, in conscious, subconscious, and unconscious states of being, existing. I'm going to read this card, this last little portion again. Use this card to awaken from your dreams and fantasies and shrewdly, with discernment, with cunning, with spiritual cunning, the most ancient alligator, that mama, baby, that sentinel. Okay. Use this card, Mother's Day. Use this card to awaken from your dreams and fantasies and shrewdly pursue your cravings and desires. Be bold and be rash. Think about the alligator in her boldness, in her rashness, in her patience of waiting and being unseen and lurking up under the water and being still. And then in her boldness and in her rashness, she grabs and goes back under the water. Consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness Whew, let me keep going because this is going to be long. I can see it. Okay. Okay. The sentinel alligator sees deeply into the muddy waters, preventing our clarity. She sees the infinite dimensions of this universe into the muddy waters, preventing our clarity. She sees, that Holy Spirit sees, beyond the muddy waters, beyond the chaos, beyond the shadowy darkness and dirt of the mind, beyond the profane. The Spirit sees all, even though all we see is the murk, the shadow. Mama sees it all. She sees beyond it. Sees deeply into the muddy waters, preventing our clarity. She sees the infinite dimensions of this universe. She sees the destiny of this world. Seek to open your own water-smoked eyes and see beyond the river. Find the truth behind the truth. Find the truth behind the truth. Woo! What did it say? Space takes up space. Woo! See through the murky swamp vapors, the clouds, the mist, and the mud, the lies, the confusion, the chaos. And once you see your opportunity, seize it. Be daring. That was the first card that came through for this Mother's Day reading. The second card is this one. Page 17. And beloveds, these are the first two cards of the deck. And these are all the cards, okay? These are all the cards. But these cards, the first one and the second one, came up first in this reading. That Mama said, use this deck. Because I wanted to use the Isis Oracle. Mama said, use this deck. And I was going to pull 6 from here. Mama said, no, pull 5 from this one and 1 from the Medicine Woman. And the Medicine Woman go first. Okay, Mama. Two. Cosmic Whirlwind. Androgyny. That came up in the first video when I was speaking of Lilith, Adam, and Eve. An understanding of cosmic whirlwind gives us a map for navigation through life turnings. Through swirls of night and day, we are driven. Cosmic whirlwind has the power to roll us around endlessly like marbles. We are but play toys in the shifting whirlpools of fate. Hold on a minute, beloveds. Okay. It's getting hot. Okay. I'm going to start over. An understanding of cosmic whirlwind gives us a map for navigation through life's turning. Through swirls of night and day, we are driven. Cosmic whirlwind has the power to roll us around effortlessly, endlessly, like marbles. We are but play toys in the shifting whirlpools of fate. Cosmic whirlwind contains both male and female energies and is keeper of the spirit of a third power, the energy of androgyny. So you have male energy, you have female energy, and you have androgyny energy. So male energy is that negative, androgyny is the zero or the middle. Positive is the female because she can produce, get higher. In our entire universe, there are only three powers: male, female, and androgynous. By living consciously and finding the precious fulcrum, one can manifest enormous control of energy, the power of the whirlwind. Cosmic whirlwind is many things. Cosmic whirlwind is the conch shell and the wind jewel. It is the human heart offered in sacrifice, and sacrifice spirals us to the new consciousness of 2013. And I'm going to say this, beloved. If you go to my very first Facebook page, Valerie AMES, and type in conch shell, CONCH, hashtag conch, a lot of information will come up to help support this saying, this reading. Cosmic whirlwind is associated with Venus and symbolized by snail. The temples of Venus contain a mysterious geometry that was perfectly aligned with the movement of this planet. Stairways in the ancient Mesoamerican Venus observatories are spiraled like a snail, curving around and around. At the center of whirlwind is a secret reversing eye, drawing you into utter stillness. Listen to the first videos, beloved, and you'll hear about that eye and the stillness and entering into that stillness and silence. Cosmic whirlwind figures deeply in the creation of matter and teaches us about the double spiral. Just as with the rotations of Earth and Venus, one spiral goes clockwise and the other spiral goes counterclockwise. Wheels within wheels, baby. This geomagnetic energy leaves its imprint on life-forming DNA. Snail is a gate to the spiraling inner world of spirit. She is keeper of the whirlwinds of masculine and feminine powers. This is the reason this information is coming to you on Mother's Day, beloveds. Okay? It is not random. It is spiritual. We seek the imperishable and the eternal. There is no such thing as sexual difference in the spirit world. When gender identification is dissolved, the human can make a connecting link between the self and all. That takes me to the fishing for the roe eggs, that creative writing piece that came through about abortion and what the patriarchy wants to do to the female reproductive system. All of this is tied together, beloveds. I hope it is what it is. Those that are meant to receive it will receive it. I have no doubt of that. It's put into the air and the frequencies. It is what it is. I hope. As we spiral through the whirlpools of life, we can find liberty and freedom from the confines of the paradoxes of sexuality by respecting the essential right of all beings to exist. We can mold a new consciousness. We can set a course for a world where all life forms are elevated and venerated. Whirlwind teaches you to make choices. That is the real lesson of androgyny. This teaching isn't about plus or minus. It is where the scales balance. Androgyny is neutral. And just as in an automobile, neutral is an important gear. In order to survive this incarnation on our shrinking planet, we must learn to live in harmony and in peace with one another. We must get along with each other in a world that seems bent on hating and destructive behaviors. Whirlwind says to recognize the paradoxes of identity. If Whirlwind has appeared in your cards today, find a place of balance and then make balanced decisions. Power is with you. Cosmic Whirlwind brings zest, new vitality, and youthful beauty. Now is the time to spin your medicine. Charge in and start a project or finish one. If a certain situation has come to a standstill, put it on hold until you can arrive at the objectivity you need to make further progress. Don't pluck the fruit when it ain't ripe. Leave it up there. Let it mature. Let the sun kiss it some more. Let the air bless it some more. Let it get some more nurturance from the roots until it's ready. Don't rush nature. Don't rush something. Let it take its course. You don't know the sweetness that it can produce. Allow the unfolding. Watch. Observe. It's a lesson that can only be lived. Nobody can teach you. You got to learn this lesson. And you got to learn with to be led by your instinct, not your mind. Not your mind. Because your mind gonna come up with all kind of stupid ass reasons to go ahead and do it and eat it. Eat the fruit, eat it. You know you want to be like God. Let me just wait around and see what the fruit gonna do first, okay? Let me take. Ain't no rush. Let me see first. What about the other tree over there? What? No rush. Power is with you. Whirlwind brings zest, new vitality, and youthful beauty. Now is the time to spin your medicine. Charge in and start a project or finish one. If a certain situation has come to a standstill, put it on hold until you can arrive at the objectivity you need to make further progress. We have chosen to manifest at this time, in this body, and in our present social and political milieu. Before we incarnated, we were pure androgynous spirit. This spirit became a whirlwind, revolving, spiraling. Our soul waited to find a mother and father who would meet our needs. Upon conception, we received our sexual identity, yet always, deep in our psyches, we remember our former spiritual state, and we long to return to this pure essence. If you have not read Ezekiel or Enoch, and the turning of the wheels and the whirlwinds and all of this, you're going to miss so much. It's going to go over your head. Seeking sanctuary, the mystic cries out to creation, to the great one at the center of the Milky Way, and to the portal of all that lies beyond. Ancestors and other spirit beings emerge from this mouth to communicate with the human visionary. The heart is at the center of our beloved galaxy, where we must face our challenge to live in harmony with the cosmos. Creation holds us with compassion and no judgment. You climb upwards on the winding stairs of life in the footfalls of those who came before you. The stairs begin at birth and end at death. There is a banister to cling to. There is a banister to cling to as you climb or stumble. The banister consists of your beliefs, culture, race, religion, family, relationships, sexual orientation, ego, and profession. The banister is your ignorance or your bliss. As you follow the course of your life, changes appear as you round each bend, for always the banister turns. Cosmic Whirlwind card presages erratic turns in the lives of rulers, presidents, people in positions of authority, and even the lowliest of bureaucrats. And in that word bureaucrats, the last part of it is rats. Rats came up in a couple of the last videos before this one. Popularity may plummet. This may bring uncertainty to the population at large. Rulers will be helpless to govern because the cosmic forces that govern them are exerting such powerful influence. Confusing and unstable economic conditions may prevail. Cosmic Whirlwind asks you to watch out for the toxins in your life. Perhaps do some fasting or cleansing. Be conscious of the food you eat. Make sure it is pure and life-sustaining. Do whatever you can to protect the environment, the land, the water, and the air you breathe. Donate some time and energy to environmental causes so that future generations can profit from your work. If you cannot do that, at least recycle. Your own life may be turning, spinning like a top, and swaying topsy-turvy, this way and that, wobble, wobble. Find your center of gravity and be still within this necessary ascension. Find a weave of rhythm with each new turn and follow the coil of your destiny. Bring your courage to a head as the past swirls away and other pressing challenges appear. Just as the earth is changing, you are also. Make choices and enjoy the scenery around the bend. The dynamic forces of Cosmic Whirlwind are releasing personal energy to a cellular level, bringing a profound new equilibrium into your surroundings. Cosmic Whirlwind is often a very favorable omen. Okay, my battery was running low. That was Cosmic Whirlwind. And what I was getting ready to say is, this is speaking to me as to why I needed to start a new Facebook page. So Aho and thank you, Mama, for that. The next card. Let's see. Page 109. 5. Hand wheel offering. Many teachings are held in the great hand, the hand of the God of gods. Duality is complementary and not opposed when in the hands of the great being. That's very deep, beloveds. So whether it's the right hand or the left, when it's spiritual, that they work together. There is no opposing. The duality is one. Let me say that again. Many teachings are held in the great hand, the hand of the gods of gods. Duality is complementary and not opposed when in the hand of the great being. The great hand is not absolute, but interdependent, holding all so-called opposites. The first hand grasps the conch shell, the instrument yielding the first divine sound, the wind jewel. The second hand holds the sacred grass sphere, life lived in balance within ordinary reality. The third hand is the truth hand, sheltering the tobacco leaf. The fourth hand holds the obsidian knife, the human-held power to give or take life. 5 is the number of the hand. And here we go, that fifth element that has been waiting to come into the consciousness. Consider the wonders that have been built by human hands, the great works of beauty and architecture, the pyramids and temples of the ancient world, and the great monuments in front of us today. Hand wheel speaks of human balance and striving for fulfillment. Hand, particularly the thumb, is related to Venus. A single hand symbolizes male right-handed and female left-handed groups of 5. Stated simply, the left hand is related to the sacred and the right hand is related to everyday jobs, the mundane. The left hand is the spiritual hand. The right hand is the dirt under the fingernails, profane hand. I hope you caught that, beloveds. I hope you caught that. The left hand is related to the sacred. The left hand is the feminine. Okay? I hope you get spiritual wisdom and logic that relies in both of these hands, in all of these hands. The members of many secret groups and societies correspond to the various digits of the hand. Fingers, including the thumb, are called planets. Each has specific powers. There we go back to the space within the space. The Venus digit, the thumb, symbolizes the teacher, knowledge carrier, or holder. Thumb is ruler of the group and the central person of authority. A couple of the videos I have mentioned the 5, the 4 fingers, and the thumb. This is the wisdom coming through from those times, beloveds. Like I said, these videos have been seeding and it is bearing fruit, deeper fruit. It's taking you deeper and deeper and deeper. And hopefully you're able to go. You're seeking. The member of many secret groups and societies correspond to the various digits of the hand. Fingers, including the thumb, are called planets. Fingers, including the thumb, are called planets. Each has specific power. The Venus digit is the thumb. Symbolizes the teacher, the knowledge carrier, or holder. Thumb is ruler of the groups and the central person of authority. Remember I said Venus and Taurus, the bull. Thumb's character is from the ether, void, and empty space. Thumb is the power of feathered serpent, the material manifestation of the universe, space within space. All must come to this digit in order for magical combinations to occur. So in order to get to your clairsentience, you must come to and be born through this Venus portal. Handwheel card tells you to live life with a positive attitude and put your hand to life's challenges. A pipestone hand seeks union. A flint hand seeks truth like an arrow. A crystal hand bestows light. An obsidian hand is introspective and acts from deep inner knowing. The left hand has a heart, and correct use of the hand brings good fortune. They are the harmony of hands, the trust of hands, the balance of hands, unselfish, detached hands, hands with flexible fingers and limber thumbs. Remember, fingers and thumb oppose each other, and this is what makes the hand function. Again, past the duality, beloved. The secret of the hand is the secret of fulfillment. Hand represents our gifts and our service. I hope you see how all of these cards are interwoven and how it's interwoven with the message that came through on Mother's Day in the very first video to this one. Hands give and hands take. Hands teach us how to avoid mistakes. Gentle hands are the loving hands, hands that are willing to let things be and not stamp their own will on the situation. By these hands are we touched with blessing and nourishment. To reach out and link your fingers with another is an act of love, an acknowledgement of sisterhood, of brotherhood. Gentle hands know that life is transitory, and we are here conditionally. You ought to know, Alanis Morissette. When your hands are open and giving, it denotes a steadfastness of heart and a permanence of commitment. The hand and heart working together lead you to happiness. Grandmother's hands. On my first old Facebook page, type in grandmother's hands and much will come up. Hand wheel card tells you to reach for the things you need with no hesitation. Bless yourself. Always be generous, hospitable, and comforting. Hand wheel asks you to observe and see what is needed, and then to meet those needs. How long has it been since you have embraced a child or loved one? Have you been withholding affection? Do you need to hold the hand of a person going through hard times or someone who has faced a loss? Hand wheel card asks you to share your gifts. You are being asked to give a hand where it is needed. You are being asked to touch the lives of others in a hands-on way. Put your hands to work immediately for a reason you should already know. That is that card, beloveds. The next card, the hummingbirds. This is a very deep one. Page 125, which is an 8. I always look at that and I see as above, so below. I see the hummingbirds. I see the heart, the arteries, the blue and the red. I see a lot here in this card. Let's get to it. I said 125. This is the World Tree card. It is number 9. It is centeredness. When you sit beneath the limbs of the sacred tree, light dapples the earth and you are feathered by sun eagle and hummingbird with gold, green, yellow, and crimson. The galactic tree is the giver of a new light of consciousness. The mystical tree of life is complete. Venus has risen over the branches of this glorious tree. World Tree is calling her children to come and find refuge and renewal. Come and rest under my branches. Here you will find communion. All are welcome at the base of the healing tree, the medicine tree of the people. I am sacred, she says. Use me for your spiritual purposes. Long ago, Turkey and Tree had a contest to see who could give the greatest gifts. Tree won with her first breath. Honor the sacred tree, the breathing tree, for she literally gives you life. Lungs. The Amazon forest, beloveds, represents the lung system on Earth in the grid. Honor the sacred tree, the breathing tree, for she literally gives you life. Tree embodies completion and perfection, which are qualities of the number 9. Where there is a tree, there is holiness and power. Each and every tree has ritual and ceremonial importance. A tree binds the 4 directions of the cosmos together. The roots bind together the 4 sides of Earth. Trees have a language and they speak to one another. And this mystical line of communication exists between humans and trees. Humans can give their sacred gifts to trees because they are a direct connection to the galactic tree. Go to the tree. Put your hands against the tree, the trunk, and pray. Thank the tree for your life. Trees have cosmic healing powers. Sit under trees. This act restores psychological calm and mental clarity. The branching and flowering tree is the holy tree at the center of the 7 spheres or worlds. I've been speaking of 5 worlds. Here we are introduced to 7, beloveds. There are more roots than branches, say the old ones, when they are teaching the law of correspondence. There are more roots than branches. Pay attention. The old ones, say the old ones, when they are teaching the law of correspondence. Look up the law of correspondence to understand how the roots and the branches correspond with each other and why there are more roots than branches. Trees must be rooted as well as reaching. What is above is also below, World Tree says. Come to the perfect center, to the great and indwelling power. She is the spirit of all trees. You ought to know. The roots of the world tree go to the absolute bottom of the universe, and the branches reach to the absolute top. This tree contains the principle of all trees, and yet it does not contain the principle of all trees. It is the sprouting tree of the beginning, and yet it has no beginning. It is beyond time, but it is also in it. It is the fallen tree of the ending, and yet it never ends. It is forever beginning and ending, and between the uppermost branches and the deepest roots exist countless worlds, and each world contains infinities of others. World tree is the sacred tree and stands at the living center of the nation and the world. She is the tree of counsel. The trunk is the connection of the earth below and sky above. She is eternally embraced by a double pyramid of light. The two flower eagles, hummingbirds. I love that the hummingbirds are called flower eagles. If you know anything about again, look at Ted Andrews. Look up spirit animal of eagles, and look up hummingbirds. A lot of wisdom there, beloveds. A lot of wisdom. A lot of revelations. Hummingbirds bring a sunbeam and attach it to the rainbow. The light is ethereal and purifying. The rays that bathe the tree are creative as well as recreative because of its double nature, male and female. We have come across this androgynous, this male and female, and here it is again, as above, so below. The 4 elements are in the tree. 4 elements. There is water in the earth, and radiation from the sun moves through the air. The holy tree is a place for celebration and dance, a place of sacrifice. It is a refuge of harmony and universal order. Is it any wonder that so many sages have received enlightenment at the base of a sacred tree? The world tree represents fullness of mind and spiritual reaching toward the ultimate. Adepts have always sought the exquisite blossoms on the tree of life. Hovering near the flowering tree, hummingbirds are a sign of fruitfulness and well-being. Tree energy protects children and assists them in their daily life's journey. Wild tree card indicates steady future growth because of your well-rooted actions. It presages the bearing of fruit from your labors, the good fruit from the good tree. Reaffirming and confirming and validating what was in the other video, beloved, and what was in the beginning of this video and the other cards that came up with Carol Bridges' deck, the stones. Whew, this is blowing my mind. And to taste this fruit is to taste and realize new possibilities. And in that first video, beloveds, we were speaking of the 5 senses through the clair, through the sight beyond sight, clairaudience, the clair tasting, all of that above, beyond the 5 senses, into the 6th sense of reality, which is beyond the physical, into the spiritual, reaching into the spiritual, reaching into the unseen, seeing the unseen, and bringing it into this physical reality and speaking of it. And to taste this fruit is to taste and realize new possibilities. Go ahead and sample the sweet fruits from this magnificent tree. The world tree always speaks of balance within the situation or question and suggests ways you can create it. So we've been given what we needed in this download, in this transmission, beloveds. Let this sacred tree teach you how to be yourself, to grow and nourish in stately grace. Spoke of the expanding conscious awareness of states and learning to rest in a state of consciousness as God did on the on the seventh day. Let this sacred tree teach you how to be yourself, self-identity, to grow and nourish in stately grace, to mature, to expand your spiritual conscious awareness. The dew-jeweled leaves are sparkling in the morning of life. With this spirit tree, you can be perfect and complete. Let wholeness and sacredness emanate from you. Become one with this great tree of life. And that is that card, beloveds. This is the last card, beloveds. And this is it for the videos. And today, I am getting wore out, tired. But this has been a most joyous birthing session for me on this Mother's Day. This is the card. Last card. The fifth card pulled. And let's see what it says. Page 117. Whoo, mama. Guess what it's called? It's number 7. And it's called Womb Cave. Womb Cave. Womb Cave. That's the yoni going up to the womb. Womb Cave. Look like a tree. We just finished talking about the tree. See the alligators, lights, so much. Womb Cave, fertility, the chanting of souls, seeking incarnation, rippling the star-clouded path, shimmering, shivering, seeking the fertile chamber. Inhale, precious treasure, the first breath. Exhale, measure, birth. Baby, baby. Aho, mama. Aho, aho, mama. 7, the most magical of numbers, whispers, secrets concerning the cave of 7 seeds. The womb cave was inside a legendary mountain of the Quetzal and contained 7 chambers. This cave was dedicated to She of the jade skirt because of the watery nature of the human womb. Her spirit was present at all births and baptisms. Aho, mama. Aho, aho, mama. The cave was used as a ceremonial space because fertile and germinating powers were concentrated within its walls. Inside this cave, initiates underwent a spiritual birthing. The umbilicus was cut and they were severed from their former lives. Baby, baby. Space takes up space. It knows this without form, thoughts, or feelings. Mound builders, building temples. Alligator, hatches from eggs. Beloveds, it's a lot here. It's a lot tied to everything that has been coming through. Beneath the pyramid of the sun, there's a womb cave. A biochemical link exists between the sun's radiation and the production of female fertility hormones. Y'all don't hear me. That creative rant that poured from my cosmic womb, baby. That poured forth as words, because in the beginning was the word. Connect the dot and gather the eggs. A woman's cycle is 28 days. 10. 5 plus 5. 2 plus 8. 28. 10. Which corresponds exactly with the sun's 28-day cycle of rotation. Not the lunar, the solar. Mesoamerican. Mesoamerican. American. A woman's cycle, that matriarch, that feminine energy, on all the signs and symbols of the Mesoamerican world. Understand what you're seeing. Understand the shadow and the light of the blood sacrifices back to the earth and the rebirth and what is being given to you now, right now, in this moment on Mother's Day. You ought to know. You ought to know. A woman's cycle is 28 days, which corresponds exactly with the sun's 28-day cycle of rotation. Hormones vary in women due to solar energy. Geomagnetic forces interact with sunlight to stimulate the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, causing menstruation and ovulation. It's purple, ain't it? What colors make purple? Blue and red. Mama ain't playing with y'all. I hope you paying attention. If not, it's gonna cost you. Humanity was born of the womb cave. The womb cave is the reflection of within, just as life becomes a reflection without. That's the whole point of that first video, in space within space. Here, the fetus begins its journey into the realm of possibility. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, the sixth senses. Remember the movie The Sixth Sense? Into the realm of possibility. The ancient people grasped the truths thousands of years ago. Their tireless observation of the universe paid off. The elders, thousands of years of observation of the universe paid off. The videos I've been speaking of, this video ahead of this one and this one itself, spoke of all what is in the dirt. The dirt came from the sky. Life, spirit animates life. Essence, breath is gifted. Observe. Beyond what you see with your physical eyes, beyond your senses lies the truth. The truth is deeper than the surface. The tree is sustained by the roots. The highest branch up there, no matter how tall, is sustained by the lowest root, baby. It's anchored by the lowest root. Respect your elders. Respect the womb. Respect life. Respect the blood. Respect the sun. Understand the correlation between it all. Know thyself. Devote thyself to it. Teach the next generations to understand and know themselves. Here, the fetus incarnates and begins its journey into the realm of possibility. The ancient people grasped these truths thousands of years ago. Their tireless observation of the universe paid off. Fifth world, baby. Looking skyward, they found answers. They unlocked the mysteries of fertility. Did not say the mysteries of patriarchy. Did not just say the mysteries of the womb. It takes two to make a thing go right, baby. Fertility. Male and female fertility. They unlocked the mysteries of fertility. Womb cave holds the void and eternal stillness of night and has been linked to a cup, not the cup itself, but the principle of emptiness within it. Not the space, but the space within the space, baby. Woo! Come on, mama. Come on. Come on and speak. Come on out and speak. Come on, come on, come on. Womb cave. Oh, God. Excuse me, y'all. I'm getting chills. That means the ancestors is all around right now. Goosebumps and butterflies, baby. They unlock the mysteries of fertility. Womb cave holds the void, the eternal stillness of night. Remember to go rest in that stillness, baby. And has been linked to a cup, the Holy Grail. Not the cup itself, but the principle of emptiness within it. Womb cave is the intersection of the collaborative forces of life, birth, and death. I hear my spirit saying, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Crossroads, intersections, 4 ways, not just 2. 4 fingers and a thumb. Go listen to the card about the hands for deeper meaning on what I just said. The unlocked mysteries. They unlock the mysteries of fertility. They keep going right back. My eyes keep zooming right to that. That 1111 is a gateway. This Mother's Day, I want you to understand what's being given, what's coming through. Ain't no joke. The unlocked mysteries of fertility. Womb cave holds the void and eternal stillness of night. That's some blackness for you, baby. That's some blackness right there. The most fertile. The eternal stillness of night. Do you know how black that is? Ain't no stars in that, baby. Ain't no lights. Womb cave holds the answers. They unlock the mysteries of fertility. Before the birth of light, before form, before stardust settled and was blown around into the luminary lights in the sky that we are able to see and bear witness to. You must understand that there was a womb cave up there. There were no lights. There were no planets. That was the womb cave. And like the 5 fingers, planets, Venus, rules. Downloading so much, beloveds. Womb cave is the intersection of the collaborative forces of life, birth, and death. Womb cave is the inner chamber containing the sacred, involuted female, the threshold to all worlds. And you need to pay attention to that. So there was a reason that I held this card like this and then went like this, the inverted way. Didn't know. Spirit led. Like I said, I don't question it. I just Womb cave is the intersection of the collaborative forces of life, birth, and death. Womb cave is the inner chamber containing the sacred, involuted female. An involuted female is also androgynous male, beloveds. The threshold to all worlds. Her interdimensional architecture and fertility and birthing is the temple of the mother goddess. Womb cave's mystery is revealed in the courage of birth. She is the runway and furnishes the coordinates for takeoff. How many times do we hear about the mothership? Without that womb cave, you ain't taking off. You ain't being born. Without understanding, without knowing, without recognizing, without honoring, without devoting yourself to the wisdom of the womb, the way of the womb, you ought to know better. You ought to know. The old ones revered fertility. Special ceremonies were held for young women when they reached their first menstruation and became fertile. These women were honored because of their sacred capacity to extend the lineage of their people into the future. Without fertility, life stops. Many ceremonies celebrated Gaia, inherent in many rites. One is reborn and renewed, as in an emergence from the womb. Maternal love nurtures us, sustains our planet, and supports life. In death, we are lowered back into the womb of Earth. For 20-something years now, it has been spoken through me, the rebirthing process, the importance. Parts have come forth and revealed themselves as cosmic midwives. All kind of words and knowing and ways to deal with birthing and rebirth, and it never got off. It never took off. The runway was built. Oh, and many people, built their own versions and jumped off. Always imitated, never duplicated. It is what it is, beloveds. This fertility thing is what it is. It is what it is. This is Mother's Day. And from my bloodline, we lose our uterus to tumors. I had one that grew its own blood system, like an ivy around it. It fascinated the medical research people because they had never seen nothing like it. It's 5 pounds, 8 ounces by itself. The old ones revered fertility. Special ceremonies were held for young women when they reached their first menstruation and became fertile. These women were honored because of their sacred capacity to extend the lineage of their people into the future. Without fertility, life stops. Many ceremonies celebrate Gaia. Inherent in many rites, one is reborn and renewed as in an emergence from the womb. Maternal love nurtures us, sustains our planet, and supports life. In death, we are lowered back into the womb of earth. In the book of Revelation, it speaks about the dragon and at war with the woman and the earth coming to the woman's rescue. You do well to understand these powers and principalities that dance and that have been doing this dance for centuries. We pray for the continual fertility of Great Spirit Mother, for she is matrix of creation, the keeper of rebirth. She existed before our personal attributes or mental scripting. We seek the womb cave, for it holds the fluidity of the unborn and uncreated self. Do you understand? The greatest love story ever created. Why Adam never got rid of Eve. What was he seeking? Speak it, Mama. We seek the womb cave, for it holds the fruit, the fluidity, the waters be like water. It holds the fluidity of the unborn and uncreated self. So it is that stillness before the mind. Gave it and stamped it and imprinted it. You are boy, you are girl, you are black, you are this, you are poor, you live here, you are this, you are that. It is that which is ancient beyond beginnings and endings and so forth and so on. It is that knowing that is reborn. And its ascension back through this womb is portrayed in this manner. With the flower eagles. The yoni is known as a flower. We seek the womb cave, for it holds the fluidity of the unborn and uncreated self, a place of reconnection to the principles of elemental being before the senses, before the five senses, before the six senses. This speaks of the seventh. It is telling you why you seek that feminine, why it's so important, why that womb, why the blood, why the solar, okay, energy is so important. Within the womb cave, the holy heat meets with the void. The holy heat meets with the void. How sexy and yummy and juicy and wet is that? Huh? In the search for light, the dark matrix becomes the light itself. In the union, baby. Takes two to make a thing go right. This is the origin of our being. The womb cave card points to the place of origin, space within space. Mother's Day, May 8th, 2022, expanding beyond the five senses into the 6-11-11 portal is the conscious awareness of the Aquarian age, Aquarium fishbowl. Space takes up space. It knows this without form, thoughts, or feelings. The womb cave card points to your place of origin and offers you a shelter for which to explore new things, to have new experiences, to risk. Fertility is an empathetic yes to life. Let womb cave reawaken your slumbering dream. Do you understand what Mama is saying, beloveds? Wake up. Come up out of your dream and know yourself. Get rid of this illusion. Get rid of the self-hate. Get rid of the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. Understand you're all male, female, and androgynous. This is your spiritual unity before your mental division and separations into solar and lunar, male and right, male and female, left and right. This card speaks of the winding, intricate caverns of the heart. Fertility is reaching out to limitless possibility and into an ever-widening circle. An ever-widening circle. The expanding conscious awareness. Blue and green. Hello. Fertility is reaching out to limitless possibility and into an ever-widening circle. Womb cave holds the secret to continual nourishment and recreation. With womb cave card, one must set the conditions for germination and the creation of form for an important idea or desire. This means that your deepest needs must be met and put away in the fertile depths of productive emptiness. Fertility is divine trust. And Womb Cave card calls out for spiritual unity. Baby, there's nothing more powerful than that reading right there. There's nothing more powerful. And I am going to allow this to germinate because it is filling an emptiness within me. And it could not be placed there until I was empty. Watch me unfold. Baby. Aho, mama. Aho. I am thankful. I am so thankful. My mother and my grandmother lived to see 43 years of age. I said in this May, I have lived to be 57. I've lived to see 6 of my grandbabies be born. I've lived to see my son graduate college. I got a GED. My father had a 3rd grade education. My mother a 10th grade education. From the huts, baby. From the huts of slaves. My ancestors are the grains of the earth that fell from the heavens and the meteors and formed. Do you understand who your mother is? Spirit. That means you are a spiritual being. This is what houses that. This is the shell. We have been taught not to think that there's nothing outside of the shell. The shell is evil and it's wrong and it's bad and it's ugly and it's dirty. It's lustful, it's this, it's that, it's that. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing until you begin to understand what self-love is and how all-inclusive it is and how patient and forgiving it is. Okay? Years ago, I would have never sat up here like this. Now I do not give a what nobody thinks. You know why? Because I love me. And right now this is me. And it's not about skin. It's about radiating that solar fertility. And it can only be appreciated by those who understand and can appreciate the sun. And I had to learn that about myself first and foremost. Namaste, beloveds. I know this is a lot. I know it is a lot. It is a lot. But look at the times that we are living in. Place it next to all the information that's coming through. All the distractions. Oh, what are the Kardashians doing? What is Will and Jada doing? What is Dave Chappelle doing? What is this and that doing? All the while, you've taken your eye off the prize, which is you. You are the one. You are Neo. The rest of this matrix, let it go on and simulate what it needs to do. You graduate. You know that you can't bend the spoon because there is no damn spoon, okay? I love you.